Hi guys, my name is Sarah, and today we're going to be covering how we can use synthetic division to divide polynomials. I'd say this strategy is pretty efficient if you want to save time, and it's easy to do once you have the basics settled. So, first off, our first step is to break down x plus 6. So, we know that whenever we're trying to find what x is, we have to set it to 0 because this is one of our factors. So we would have to do x plus 6 equal to 0. So we minus 6 on both sides, and then we get x is equal to negative 6. So we basically just did the opposite. So we put this negative 6 right here on the outside, right there. The next step is that now we have to take the coefficients from this expression. So we have 1 as one of our quotients, we have 5, and we have 6. We're not going to include the plus sign just because it's given that if it doesn't have a negative, well, it's going to be positive. So our first step is we have to work down. So what I mean is we're going to do addition. So we can't really add 1 plus anything because there isn't anything to add. So it's just 1 plus 0, which is the same thing as 1. So now what we're going to do with the 1 is now we're actually going to multiply. We're going to multiply it to this negative 6 from the outside, which is going to give us negative 6. And that negative 6, we have to carry on to the next one. And we're going to write it underneath 5. So now that we have a negative 6 underneath, now we have to, again, add down, or in this case, subtract. So we're working down again. So what's 5 minus 6? Well, it's just negative 1. And now we have to do the same thing again. So we do negative 6 times negative 1, which is going to give us 6. And that 6, we're going to carry it to the next side, which is going to be right here. So now again, we're going to add down. So 6 plus 6 is going to give us 12. But this time we're going to stop right here. We're not going to multiply it by negative 6. So these are our coefficients. So now what we're going to do is that we have to apply the variables to where they belong. So in our original expression, we had x squared as our highest degree. But whenever we're using synthetic division, we have to start with 1 less x. So what I mean is instead of x squared, it's just going to be x. So when we're writing it down, instead of writing 1x squared, it's going to be just 1x. And we're going to do that for every single one. So now for negative 1, it's no longer going to be x, it's just going to be negative 1. And our last term right here, it's always going to count as our remainder. So that's what remains. So we're going to add 12. But we're not done. We actually then have to do 12 divided by our divisor, which is x plus 6. So that would be your answer. So what this means is that your remainder has to be divided by your divisor at the end. And you always have to do 1 less x. And the process, you basically just have to add down, multiply across, and then carry it to the next one. So just try to remember those rules, and then you have your basics down.